3 police officers heading to court for the fatal shooting of Azario Major. First tonight, the 2021 incident near Woody's Bar that sparked outrage. Now the officers face manslaughter charges. Details on the case, plus the family speaks out. Despite rising violence in Haiti, including recent attacks on commercial flights, the National Security Minister says the Royal Bahamas Defense Force will continue its mission. Also, amid criticism of social services, one woman sharing how a temporary shelter changed her life after a home was destroyed. Hear her story of resilience and advice for others with nowhere to turn. Then in Our News at 7:30, preparing for Bay. The Valley Boys staying focused on Junkanoo. The group's frontline director says the world-famous faction isn't letting internal court battles slow them down. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candido Knowles. 3 police officers will stand trial for manslaughter in the 2021 shooting death of Azario Major. Sergeant Anton Sweeting, Corporal D'Angelo Roll, and Sergeant Jamal Johnson formally committed to stand trial when they appeared before Coroner Cara Turnquest DeVoe. They will be arraigned on December 13th and remain on $9,900 bail. You may remember Major was shot and killed on December 26, 2021, when the officers shot up his car after they alleged he reached for a gun. The incident happened near Woody's Bar on Fire Trail Road. All right, and coming up in Our News at 7:30, Major's family speaking out, saying today marks a turning point in the country. Amid escalating violence in Haiti that recently saw a commercial airline shot at, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says there's no intent to bring Defense Force officers home. Monroe says 4 officers are stationed in Haiti and they are on a 6-month rotation. It's not the first time the Bahamas has supported Haiti in this way. Back in the 1990s, the country participated in a multinational peacekeeping mission to the island. At least 10 countries have pledged around 2,900 troops to address the violence in Haiti, but only 430 have been deployed since the mission began in June, nearly 400 of them from Kenya. Meanwhile, heavily armed gangs continue to gain ground in Port-au-Prince, forcing over 700,000 people to flee their homes. The National Security Minister reiterating the Bahamas' 150-man commitment to maritime security.
We've submitted persons for vetting to the MSSM in Washington, D.C., which is where the office is based. And we've submitted for vetting officers and Marines to crew a 60-meter offshore patrol craft, which would provide maritime security. We've provided officers who can train the Haitian Coast Guard in small boat operation, in safe boat operations, and crews for safe boats, and we will determine at the appropriate time, the National Security Council will determine at what point to forward the other deployment.
Air accident investigators are tonight probing a plane crash in dense bushes off Queens Highway just behind Grand Bahama Sports Complex Friday afternoon. Officials tell us the Piper Aztec en route from Cat Key near Bimini went down shortly after 1 p.m. with 6 people on board. Emergency responders, volunteers, and authorities acting swiftly, cutting through rugged terrain with a bulldozer to reach the crash site. Remarkably, all on board were rescued. Our News captured this dramatic footage of the wreckage as Chief Superintendent Detective Darrell Ware, who heads GB's Central Investigations Department, revealed key details about the shocking incident.
Persons will receive minor injuries and they'll be taken to the hospital to be seen by a doctor. At this time, the investigation will be turned over to Civil Aviation, who will be able to update you better at this time. But we know a plane did crash that is right adjacent to where we are standing at this time.
Also tonight, a woman whose home was destroyed is sharing her story after moving into a temporary public shelter. The story comes amid recent criticism surrounding the Department of Social Services, but she's sharing how the shelter actually helped transform her life and also offers hope and advice to others who feel they have nowhere to turn. Our Joshua Williams spoke to her at the end.
I have never experienced the fire. I've heard about it, but to be in it, to actually lose everything, it's traumatizing.
Rudy Ann Fox has called the Poinciana Inn home since September 13th. She says she's had to stay there after losing everything. Her home destroyed by fire the day before.
There's about 5 families that were living in this house, and everyone lost everything. I mean, absolutely everything, with nowhere to go, no one to help.
That experience, she shares, has changed her perspective on life.
I grew up in a household where my mom was like the neighborhood mom, so I'm used to always being around tragedies and helping out as best as fit. But like I said, me personally being in one myself, it's a whole different aspect.
While following the eviction of 2 women from that shelter this week, Fox acknowledges that government temporary shelters often get a bad rap. However, she says that has not been her experience, adding staff at that facility have treated her fairly. And while things may seem tough now, Ms. Fox has this word of encouragement for residents who are going through a similar situation.
You have to keep your head up and you have to stay strong and keep thriving. It doesn't make sense stopping. That's the best I can give you, because I'm not going to stop.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that story, Josh. And now to the upcoming biggest cultural event, Junkanoo. As frontline director for the world-famous Valley Boys, John Williams says the group's focus is on preparing for the Bay Street parades. This despite internal divisions currently under Supreme Court review. Speaking at the Warm the Shacks press conference hosted by Cuba Libre on Thursday, Williams said the group's primary concern, delivering an exceptional performance. He was also asked about the group's preparations.
We don't like drama, but drama exists. And like I said, our job as leaders is to keep everybody focused. What my group has done has allowed the younger persons in our group to control our sections. They are our section leaders, and because the young persons listen to them, so they're prescribing focus to everybody, and to ensure that everybody's practicing, everybody's pacing, everybody's building, and we have one goal, and that is to go to Bay Street, and that is to win, and that is to perform for our fans, our members, and our supporters.
As for the group's theme,
I can't really give a hint right now, but I can tell you that it's going to be very holy, it's going to be very country-filled, and if you attend Nervous Saturday, you'll be able to see the full reveal of what our theme is.
All right, fresh off of her New York Liberties championship win, 2024 WNBA Finals MVP Jonquel JJ Jones making waves in her hometown of Grand Bahama. JJ arrived yesterday to a hero's welcome, complete with Junkanoo and fanfare. Her first stop, a courtesy call on Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie, followed by a visit to Grand Bahama Port Authority's head office. During her visit, Jones emphasized the urgent need for greater investment in sports, particularly in the Family Islands.
It's my responsibility now, it's our responsibility now to make sure that, I'm not the last Jonquel Jones, and that the next person that comes after me is going to be even better than me, because we do have a lot of natural talent here in the islands. And if you just look at what we've been able to do with all of the athletes that's out there with limited resources, just imagine what we could do if we actually invested in sports.
And during the courtesy call, GBPA Chairman Sarah St. George presented JJ with a gold-proof coin from her late father, Edward St. George, congratulating her on all her achievements.
What we wanted to do was present you with a little something as a memento of your trip here today, and to say how much we value you, how proud we are, and delighted that you come back.
Yes.
To see the less famous of us. Because you are a star internationally, and you mean you represent you represent so much to the whole sport community here, to us everywhere.
All right, hats off to Jonquel Jones. And if you are in Grand Bahama this weekend, then know if you want to support her, there's a motorcade happening to do just that. We've got much more to get to tonight. But for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kendian, and a happy TGI for everybody. A beautiful day around the islands as we enjoyed quite a bit of nice weather over the last couple of days. Temperatures managed to get up into the low to mid 80s. We are right now settling into the 70s. 77 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds on the outside. Winds out of the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Your feels like temperature is at 78. Temperatures around the islands right now across the northwest Bahamas: 74 in Freeport, 75 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 77s, Alistown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros. Great Harbor Key and Governor's Harbor, 78, 77 here in the capital. Central Bahamas, 78 in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, and in Deadman's Key. Also in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn, Townsend, Salvador, 77, and in the southeast Bahamas. 80 degrees in Duncantown, Ragged Island, pair of 77s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Abrahams Bay, 78, Providenciales, Tricks and Caicos Island, 79, and Matthewtown, Inagua, you guys are 81 degrees at this hour. Satellite radar composite, quiet across area, ridge of high pressure is in charge. We have some high-level clouds moving across the southeast Bahamas. That's all courtesy of the outflow from Sarah. That's still packing some tropical storm force conditions. High pressure is in charge. We do have a very weak front that's dropping across South Florida. Should get into the northwest Bahamas later on tonight. Not much weather associated with that system, but nice, refreshing, reinforcing air mass coming behind that. So we're looking at a very lovely weekend. Good time to get out and enjoy if you have any plans. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at the tropics and your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming on our news, ready, set, sweat. Get those running shoes ready for the 12th annual Bahamas Half Marathon. It hits the streets this Sunday at 5 a.m. with 5K, 10K, and relay races. Nearly 500 runners expected to pound the pavement. But first,
Coming up in sports, decision day for an elite junior sprinter, and Coach Yo's team continues to dominate non-conference play.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Base Officer Barry, transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those affiliated with him are not to be trusted. At first sign of any suspicious behavior, contact backup immediately. Do you copy, Officer Barry? Officer Barry, do you copy? Inspect.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. One of the country's premier junior sprinters had a big decision to make for her upcoming collegiate career. Turns out it was good news for the Longhorns. Jemiah Nabi signed her letter of intent to join Edric Floreal's program at the University of Texas. Nabi burst onto the national scene in 2023 at the 50th Carifta Games, where she pulled off the gold medal double in the under-17 girls 100 meters in 11.67 seconds and the 200 meters in 23.67 seconds.
It was another lopsided win for Coach Yo and Ole Miss. The nation's 19th ranked team put on another defensive clinic in an 80-42 win over Delaware State Thursday night. Ole Miss forced the Hornets into 23 turnovers, which they converted into 30 points.
It was a busy weekend of action for the first sports on the academic calendar for both the BAISS and the GSSA. In the GSSA, volleyball season came to an end with titles for both the H.O. Nash Lions junior girls and junior boys. Both senior series are headed to Game 3s. The senior girls features Government High School and the C.I. Gibson Rattlers, while the senior boys features the Rattlers and the C.R. Walker Knights. In the BAISS, Queens College emerged as swimming champions at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center. The Comets topped the standings with 393 points, followed by the St. Anne's Blue Waves with 349 points, and SAC was third with 264 points. In softball, both the junior and senior girl championship matchups are set. It'll be another chapter in the rivalry between the SAC Big Red Machine and the Queens College Comets. Baseball playoffs for the boys continue at the Andre Rogers National Stadium. And the 10YS Plays of the Week. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as COP29 talks slammed. Climate leaders call for an overhaul. Plus, a global outcry as South Korea cancels major religious event. Christian and Buddhist organizers condemn the decision as unconstitutional and discriminatory. And a look under the hood as 1.4 million Honda cars involved in an engine trouble probe. What you need to know if you own a Honda or Acura model when Our News returns.
Officer Barry, Base Officer Barry. Transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those affiliated with him are not to be trusted. At first sign of any suspicious behavior, contact backup immediately. Do you copy, Officer Barry? Officer Barry, do you copy? Inspect. I'm not reaching him.
I want APBs, patrol cars, wanted posters, whatever it takes, and tell the public we got $10,000 for whoever could turn them into us.
Put the word out on the street. I got $20,000 right now for any man who could bring them to me. Go clean this up.
Right, Jeff? Let's head out.
When money's sick, but the mind coming. When money's sick, but the mind coming.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama, and a lot of people out there say they don't understand me. So I have Adelso here who's going to interpret everything I say. So you're going to watch Charlie Bahama from Cuba this week.
Van a ver el programa del show de Bahamas, de Charlie Bahama desde Cuba.
And we're going to be going to Peñales, we're going to be going to Trinidad, we're going to be going all throughout Havana.
So van a verlo, fuimos a Viñales, a Trinidad y todo en La Habana.
On Cable Bahamas. Charlie Bahama Show.
Base Officer Barry, Base Officer Barry. Transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those...
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. A group of former leaders and climate experts said the annual United Nations COP climate talks no longer fit for purpose and need to be reformed, publishing a critical open letter midway through what has so far been described as a fractious summit. Fiona Jones reports.
Climate leaders and experts called for the annual UN COP climate talks to be reformed, branding the event no longer fit for purpose. The group, including ex-UN chief Ban Ki-moon, published a critical open letter on Friday, midway through what has so far been a fractious summit. Nearly 200 countries are gathered in Baku, Azerbaijan. The primary goal is to agree how much money needs to be provided to help developing countries adapt to climate change and recover from destructive weather. So far, those talks have made little progress. Delegates struggled for hours on the opening day to agree an agenda. The mood has been soured by doubts about the future role of the United States under a Donald Trump presidency, along with diplomatic spats involving the host nation and the withdrawal of the Argentinian delegation. The letter was signed by more than 20 experts, former leaders and scientists. It says the COP process had achieved much but now needed an overhaul, and that, quote, its current structure simply cannot deliver the change at exponential speed and scale, which is essential to ensure a safe climate landing for humanity. Others have also criticised the COP process in Baku. Earlier this week, the Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama spoke of leaders sitting on sofas while speeches at the summit played out on muted television screens.
The process has already delivered.
The COP29 presidency's lead negotiator, Yalkin Raviev, responded that talks were, quote, better than any alternative.
We considered COP29 as a litmus test for the global climate architecture.
Religious freedom reportedly under threat in South Korea. This after a government decision led to the sudden cancellation of a major religious event, sparking global outrage. The Religious Leaders Forum and graduation ceremony in Paju was set to host 30,000 attendees from 57 countries, including over 1,000 religious leaders, in late October. Despite assurances just days before, organizers say government abruptly withdrew the event's venue, citing security concerns. The group's now appealing to other international bodies for support. Antigua and Barbuda's Ministry of Education plans a pilot study in January 2025 to test extending school hours for secondary schools. Two public schools, one large, one small, will trial longer days, initially 2 to 3 days a week, targeting students not in after-school programs. Depending on results, education officials say the schedule could expand to 5 days. Secondary schools currently run from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And Haitian authorities have confirmed they'll maintain February 7, 2026 as the target date for the inauguration of a newly elected president. That's according to the Organization of American States and the Venice Commission of the Council of Europe. The Washington-based OAS said it continues to work to assist Haiti in developing the enabling legal framework for its next general elections. The Venice Commission is the Council of Europe's advisory body on constitutional matters. Gang violence in Haiti has escalated since former Prime Minister Ariel Henry was locked out of the country earlier this year, sparking the appointment of a transitional council to lead the country. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration investigating potential engine failures in 1.4 million Honda and Acura models covering Honda Pilot, Acura MDX, Honda Odyssey, Acura TLX, and Honda Ridgeline vehicles from 2016 to 2020. The issue involves connecting rod bearings failures in 3.5-liter V6 engines, potentially leading to engine shutdowns. Honda previously recalled 250,000 vehicles for similar issues, but 173 complaints remained from owners whose cars weren't included in that recall. Honda has pledged cooperation with the investigation. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was November 15th. Then in our news at 7:30, Haiti's crisis spurs migration concerns for the Bahamas as shifting U.S. immigration policies could worsen the situation. The military chief says preparations underway. Plus, a view from on the ground as a Bahamian businessman in Haiti says conditions are deteriorating rapidly. His first-hand experiences and insights when our news returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
This day in Bahamian history, Claudius Roland Walker, the man who the school C.R. Walker is named after, died at the age of 74. Walker was an educator, architect, social and labor rights activist, described as an extraordinarily brilliant man. He was born and lived most of his life in Baintown. Aside from his professional and academic accomplishments, Dr. Walker was also a builder and constructed the Reinhardt Hotel at the corner of Blue Hill Road and Tin Shop Corner. It was to accommodate black visitors at the time who were not allowed to stay in the established hotels because of race. In the aftermath of the Burma Road riot on June 1, 1942, Dr. Walker was chosen by the Bahamas Federation of Labor to be its spokesman to address the Duke of Windsor's committee on behalf of the Bahamian workers. Also, in 1904, American inventor King Kemp Gillette was granted a U.S. patent for the first razor with disposable blades. 1988 saw Palestinian statehood proclaimed by Yasser Arafat in a meeting with the Palestinian National Council. At the urging of the PLO chairman, it was issued a declaration of independence for a state of Palestine in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. And finally, in 2001, Microsoft released the now popular Xbox video game console system. The brand was first introduced in the United States with the launch of the original Xbox console. The original device was the first video game console offered by an American company after the Atari Jaguar stopped sales in 1996. It reached over 24 million units sold by May 2006. Well, the 12th annual City of Hope Bahamas Half Marathon is set for this Sunday. The race will include a 5K, 10K, and half marathon relay races, all beginning at 5 a.m. Bahamas Roadmasters is the host club for the event and expects nearly 500 runners will participate. Club president is Siobhan Lightburn-Mora.
The race is going to be electric. Everything is going to be electric. So far, we have space for 450 participants, and we're very, very close to 450 people. The race starts right here at our Key. The race will take us east just for a small portion of the route out of the main entrance to Awaki, then west along West Bay Street. The half marathon will then go on to Bahama Boulevard, return on Bahama Boulevard, and then go further west to just in the area of Caprice Condominiums, which is slightly past Wendy's and Cable Beach, and then back to the race village.
All right, local runners will run with others from all around the world, including Kenya, the United States, Canada, France, Australia, the United Arab Emirates, among other countries. Immediate past president of Bahamas Roadmasters Club, Anastasia Turnquest, spoke with our news about the significance of City of Hope being the title sponsor.
They joined us about 5 years ago, and they've been a great sponsor. It's touching for them to be a part of our group because cancer has touched just about everybody. Just recently last week we had a club member pass from cancer, so it really hits home to us, so we're so happy that they're on board.
All right, if you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That does it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Talia, we've had a lot of great shows this week. Yes. We didn't get to welcome you back, though, so we had a lot of content to get to. So welcome back and happy birthday.
Thank you, Ken.
This is your birthday week, so I just wanted to say that.
But guess what? I'm happy it's Friday,
yes.
So I can continue celebrating my birthday.
Sure thing.
All right, thanks so much, Ken. Well, remember, your chance to start the new year in style this Boxing Day. You could drive away in an all brand new, all electric 2024, that's it right there, BYD SUV. So visit ournews.bs, click the Ride Easy with Our News banner, answer the question correctly, and you're entered to win. So good luck. Well, before you head over to our website, here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, the family of Azario Major says they're relieved. The case against the officers involved in his 2021 shooting death is moving forward, and they're also on a mission turning their pain into purpose with an Instagram page to support others who've lost loved ones in similar tragedies. Plus, National Security Minister addresses recent police misconduct, including a senior officer charged with rape and others accused of theft. His message, police are human too, and how unrest in Haiti is fueling migration across the region. The head of the military says shifting U.S. immigration policies could add to the strain. And later, an Atlantis lifeguard proves heroism goes beyond the water. How Thane Thompson's second quick actions turned danger into a life-saving moment. Hear his courageous story when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
This holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahamas Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance and get reconnected. Just in time for the holidays. Pay a little, light up a lot. The Ministry of Energy and Transport is committed to making sure no family is left in the dark this season.
INTI Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. INTI is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as INTI Corporation shines brighter than ever. INTI Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
This
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. After years of advocating, the family of Azario Major is celebrating what they call success after the Supreme Court ruled that the officers involved in the police-involved shooting that ended his life will face criminal charges. Our Bethany McDermott has the details.
Today marks a turning point in our nation, and I pray that many more Bahamians of integrity will join those who hold the power of authority to uphold law and truth for a better people and a better Bahamas.
The Major family is breathing a sigh of relief, at least for now. It comes hours after 3 police officers have been committed to stand trial for manslaughter in the 2021 shooting death of their loved one, Azario Major. His sister, Fredia Itzdia Major, has been vocal on the issue, never shying away from calls for justice when it comes to her brother's death, even taking the issue international, speaking about it publicly on American reality TV show Baddies Caribbean earlier this year. Now back at home, she says today's court proceedings were long overdue.
Right now we feel pretty happy and joyous. We feel blessed, you know what I mean, that we were able to get this this far in the case.
Major was shot to death by police on December 26, 2021 outside of Woody's Bar on Fire Trail Road. Those officers will be arraigned in the Supreme Court next month. His sister feels the government can do more to ease the hurt of families left to mourn under these circumstances.
Why isn't the government doing anything about the high level of deception and lies that prolong police-involved criminal activities from being brought before the courts?
While Azario's family is celebrating, Major says the day was a bittersweet one.
We came here as a team, as a group together with other lives that were taken unlawfully by the police and also ruled as unlawful shootings in the coroner's court, but we were the only ones that came out with an indictment today.
As for what's next for them, Major says the plan is to work with other families in similar situations to get justice for their loved ones.
We also started an Instagram page. It's called Justice for All 242. It's a group that we are putting together that was started by us and the 5 families that is basically going to represent civilians as a whole.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
All right, thanks so much for that, Bethany. Well, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe building a defense for Royal Bahamas Police Force officers found on the wrong side of the law, saying police are human beings too. Just last week, a senior ranking police officer was charged with rape and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He's been since granted $9,900 bail. Back in May, an assistant superintendent and an inspector were charged with stealing $90,000 from a businessman in March. Today, Monroe sought to remind the public law enforcement officers are plucked from the public. As a result, he says the same falls civilians have, police officers have too.
The main thing that you look at is what happens when somebody fails. And the fact that people see persons being charged before the court should tell them that the police are not seeking to protect their own, they're not seeking to cover anything up. So if a complaint is made, if there's reasonable cause to charge, the person is charged and they're put before the court. The public should, if nobody was being put before the court, where the police are drawn from amongst us, then the public should be concerned.
Although officers are charged, Monroe said it doesn't mean they're guilty. His sentiments come days after Deputy Commissioner of Police Lee Mandelivo also sought to defend the RBPF, saying it's very unfair to blanket the entire police force as having a bunch of bad apples when there are only just one or two of them. There have also been concern about police officers investigating themselves. It reached a boiling point after officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, was placed on garden leave amid allegations following the release of voice notes that were widely circulated on social media. To that, Monroe says the system is working.
If the police aren't investigating, the issue would be who should investigate. So in the varying things that a police officer could be charged with, like you say, stealing, sexual offenses, there's a proposition that you should bring in some other body to investigate those matters, and then if they do, they have to go to court. And what will be their standing? Are they going to be peace officers that are going to have the ability to arrest people because that's a power that the Constitution gives in a particular way?
The Director of Public Prosecutions has decided to not follow the recommendations of the coroner's juries in 3 inquests while deciding that charges will be filed in 1. The officers involved in the shootings of D'Angelo Evans, Elroy Stubbs, and Ernest Forrest, Howard Johnson, and Richard Bastian breathed a collective sigh of relief when they were informed that they would not be prosecuted after juries returned verdicts of homicide by manslaughter. However, Sergeant Anton Sweeting, Corporal D'Angelo Roll, and Sergeant Jamal Johnson weren't so fortunate, as they were committed to stand trial for manslaughter in the 2021 shooting death of Azario Major. The officers will be arraigned in the Supreme Court next month. Meanwhile, the DPP has yet to make a decision regarding the fates of the officers involved in the shooting deaths of Gino Finley Jr. and Shanton Forbes. Well, a shocking incident unfolded this afternoon as a plane crashed in bushes off Queens Highway behind the Grand Bahama Sports Complex on Grand Bahama. According to police, the aircraft was en route from Cat Key near the island of Bimini when it went down shortly after 1. There were 6 people on board the flight at the time of the crash. Police confirmed volunteers, emergency services, and the relevant authorities acted swiftly, helping those on board. Our news team getting a close-up of the Piper Aztec. A bulldozer was used to get to the aircraft. Chief Superintendent Detective Darrell Ware, officer in charge of the Central Investigation Department in Grand Bahama, provided reporters with more details at the scene.
Persons aboard received minor injuries and they'll be taken to the hospital to be seen by doctor. At this time, the investigation will be turned over to Civil Aviation, who will be able to update you better at this time. But we know a plane did crash that is right adjacent to where we are standing at this time.
All right, well, the unrest in Haiti continues to spur waves of migration across the region, creating significant challenges for neighboring countries like the Bahamas, with shifting U.S. immigration policies potentially driving a surge in illegal arrivals. Royal Bahamas Defense Force Commodore Raymond King told Our News the Bahamas is preparing for a possible influx of migrants amid Haiti's deepening crisis. His comments came on the sidelines of the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Bahamas Development Bank.
One in particular is the temporary residency, 2-year residency sponsorship program for migrants from Cuba, Venezuela, and Haiti. And the protective status for those migrants who were processed at the Mexican-U.S. border in terms of those migrants and other illegals in the United States being deported. An indirect implication and effect on the Bahamas. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force anticipates an increase in flow of migratory movements. We are cognizant and we are preparing to maintain our posture, to enhance our posture.
Commodore King also gave an update on immigration trends, which he says as of now is quiet. He praised ongoing cooperation with regional partners, including the Turks and Caicos Islands, the U.S. Coast Guard, and the Operation Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Initiative for maintaining a strong line of defense.
We would have seen early on Haitian nationals moving towards the Dominican Republic. they would have taken a robust stand with the intent of migrating or deporting on average 10,000 Haitian nationals to Haiti per week. And so Haitians would have migrated to Jamaica, even on a smaller scale. They continue to move towards the Turks and Caicos Islands. We have experienced very little in the Bahamas, from the southeastern Bahamas this year.
And tonight, we speak to a Bahamian businessman living in Haiti who says while he's safe where he lives, he believes conditions on the ground are spiraling out of control. Gang violence in Haiti is surging. Just last week, three international airlines were shot at as it attempted to land in Port-au-Prince. Our Joshua Williams spoke with Pierre Mackey, who gave his candid view of what's happening on the ground.
Haiti has been grappling with severe political, social, and economic turmoil since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in July 2021. It's something our news has covered closely. The situation worsened in recent months. Most recently, a Spirit Airlines flight was shot at as it attempted to land in Port-au-Prince. Bahamian businessman Pierre Mackey, who lives in Haiti, says unfortunately these new violent acts come as no surprise.
They are everywhere. They're all over the place. Only thing where I live, we got a whole lot of security up here, but run all the gangs, they gang member from around here. Or they kill most of them.
The situation on the ground sparking concern in the region. Even former Prime Minister Perry Christie, a member of CARICOM's Eminent Persons Group, has been tasked with helping find solutions to the dire crisis. This week, Haiti saw the appointment of a new Prime Minister, but Mackey isn't optimistic.
Yeah, they put another one because the bandit was saying that if they got rid of this Prime Minister, they need to get rid of all 9 of them what they have in there. Okay, it's just a game, man.
We've recently sent 6 Defense Force officers to join the multinational force on the ground. Mackey says even more help is needed.
I would not advise none of them to come here. The only other Bahamian here I know is the ones who are working at the embassy. Okay? And that's it.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that report, Josh. Well, the Bahamas Development Bank reached a significant milestone this week, commemorating its 50th anniversary with a grand ceremony held at its headquarters on Robinson Road. The event brought together key stakeholders, dignitaries, and community leaders to celebrate 5 decades of the bank's contribution to the nation's development. Among the notable attendees was Governor General Dame Cynthia Pratt, Anne-Marie Davis, and former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. Newly appointed Chair Gilbert Kazar spoke to some of the accomplishments the bank has made over the years. Also on hand for the celebration was Acting Prime Minister Gladys Hannah Martin.
I also ask that you recommit to those founding principles of the Bahamas Development Bank, the principles of egalitarianism, innovation, and empowerment. While the Bahamas has changed and grown a lot since 1974, the work of BDB is just as important today as it was 50 years ago, and it will continue to be vital to the strategic, sustainable, and holistic development of our nation.
Well, cooler temperatures with a bit of wind in the capital to kick off the weekend. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Friday, everybody. A nice evening setting up for us on the outdoors. 77 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Winds out of the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Your field strike temperature hanging out in the upper 70s. Satellite radar composite, it's quiet across the area. We do have some high-level clouds moving across us, all outflow from Sahara, which is out there in the southwestern Caribbean. See, that high-pressure system will eventually slide out. That's paving the way for a very weak front that's dropping across South Florida. Should get into the northwest Bahamas later on tonight with a couple of spotty showers expected, but not much in terms of any significant rain. Reinforcing short of nice air mass expected for the weekend. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us, a look at the tropics, and your weekend forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, Valley Boys aims for Bay Street glory. The frontline director says forget the courtroom drama as the group focuses on bringing the heat to Junkanoo and need legal or professional advice. We'll tell you the free legal aid clinic coming to the Raven Mall in Grand Bahama and the pros who will be on hand to help. And meet the Atlantis lifeguard turned an everyday hero. Off duty and running late, how Thane Thompson turned around to help a stranger in distress. His incredible story when our news returns.
This holiday season, Our News and Easy Car Sales want to put you in a brand new electric ride.
Each week, tune into Our News at 7 and 7:30 for clues to questions about easy car sales, electric vehicles, and Generation E. Head over to our website, ournews.bs, for your chance to answer weekly trivia and enter to win.
It's simple. Answer correctly and you're automatically entered for your chance to win a brand new electric vehicle.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E. I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama, and a lot of people out there say they don't understand me. So I have Adelso here who's going to interpret everything I say. So you're going to watch Charlie Bahama from Cuba this week.
Van a ver el programa del show de Bahamas, de Charlie Bahama desde Cuba.
And we're going to be going to Peñales, we're going to be going to Trinidad, we're going to be going all throughout Havana.
So van a verlo, fuimos a Viñales, a Trinidad y todo en La Habana.
On Cable Bahamas. Charlie Bahama Show.
Long Island is the best kept secret.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
And you'll never be the one.
Frontline director for the world-famous Valley Boys, John Williams, told Our News that while he can't comment on the division in the Valley Boys, which is currently in the Supreme Court, the world-famous faction is focused on what's important, which is getting to Bay Street. His comments came on the sidelines at a mix and mingle of Cuba Libres warm the Shack's press conference on Thursday. When asked how preparations are going for Bay, Williams had this to say.
We don't like drama, but drama exists. And like I said, our job as leaders is to keep everybody focused. What my group has done has allowed the younger persons in our group to control our sections. They are our section leaders, and because you know the young persons listen to them, so they're prescribing focus to everybody, and to ensure that everybody's practicing, everybody's pacing, everybody's building, and we have one goal, and that is to go to Bay Street, and that is to win, and that is to perform for our fans, our members, and our supporters.
When asked about their theme for Bay, Williams provided this small hint.
I can't really give a hint right now, but I can tell you that it's going to be very holy, it's going to be very country-filled, and if you attend Nervous Saturday, you'll be able to see the full reveal of what our theme is.
FIDA in Grand Bahama, in collaboration with the Rotary Club of Freeport, is preparing to host its 7th Legal Aid Clinic this Saturday at the Raven Mall. FIDA, which stands for the International Federation of Women Lawyers, is committed to protecting the rights and interests of women and girls worldwide. The clinic will bring together lawyers, accountants, and insurance professionals, offering much-needed legal and professional assistance to the community. According to FIDA Vice President Constance McDonald, the initiative is a part of their ongoing efforts to give back and address the pressing needs of individuals seeking support and guidance.
You have a lot of persons who they be calling me on a personal level asking for legal advice. So there's a need in the community. People don't know their rights, and you know, we really need to have some level of legal assistance within the high schools.
When our news comes back from the break, meet the off-duty Atlantis lifeguard turned roadside hero, how his quick action made all the difference. But first,
coming up in sports, Jemiah Nabi is headed to Austin, Texas. We catch up on high school sports, and of course, the 10YS Plays of the Week. Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the life.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me, Italia Hall, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to do the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. One of the country's premier junior sprinters had a big decision to make for her upcoming collegiate career. Turns out it was good news for the Longhorns. Jemiah Nabi signed her letter of intent to join Edric Floril's program at the University of Texas. Nabi burst onto the national scene in 2023 at the 50th Carifta Games, where she pulled off the gold medal double in the under-17 girls 100 meters in 11.67 seconds and the 200 meters in 23.67 seconds.
Texas really felt at home when I went on the visit. The coach is very caring. The connectivity with the team and the coaches is unexplainable, and that's really what won me over.
It was another lopsided win for Coach Yo and Ole Miss. The nation's 19th ranked team put on another defensive clinic in an 80-42 win over Delaware State Thursday night. Ole Miss forced the Hornets into 23 turnovers, which they converted into 30 points.
I just think an environment like this and going on the road, the goal is to make us uncomfortable as possible.
It was a busy weekend of action for the first sports on the academic calendar for both the BAISS and the GSSSA. In the GSSSA, volleyball season came to an end with titles for both the H.O. Nash Lions junior girls and junior boys. The Lions junior girls defeated the S.C. McPherson Sharks 25-10, 25-19, and their junior boys defeated the Sharks 22-25, 25-22, 15-11. Both senior series are headed to Game 3s. The senior girls features Government High School and the C.I. Gibson Rattlers, while the senior boys features the Rattlers and the C.R. Walker Knights. In the BAISS, Queens College emerged as swimming champions at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center. The Comets topped the standings with 393 points, followed by the St. Anne's Blue Waves with 349 points, and SAC was third with 264 points. Also in the BAISS, softball and baseball seasons are set to conclude next week. In softball, both the junior and senior girl championship matchups are set. It'll be another chapter in the rivalry between the SAC Big Red Machine and the Queens College Comets. Game 1 in each series gets underway Monday at the Freedom Farm Baseball Complex. Baseball playoffs for the boys continue at the Andre Rogers National Stadium. It's Friday, we know exactly what you need, well, what we can help you with, the 10YS Players of the Week. Coming in at number 5, Dayton Albury turns a 65-point lead into a 67-point lead with this baseline dunk.
At number 4, Chavez Young shows us why he plays center field. It's a no-fly zone.
Coming in at number 3, Franco Miller has been in his bag all week, looks comfortable in Spain.
At number 2, Frederick K. Mayer bulked up, but he's still agile enough to catch the alley-oop.
And coming in at number 1, it's becoming a recurring theme. We may see this all year. VJ Edgecombe just dunking everything from everywhere on everyone. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. I wish Jemiah Nabi all the best, but she picked Texas over Kentucky.
How come? She's still in the SEC though.
It's not the same, John. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, an Atlantis lifeguard proves heroism goes beyond the water. How Thane Thompson's quick actions turn danger into a life-saving moment. His courageous story straight ahead. And clear skies. It's the perfect time for outdoor fun, though the weekend might bring a bit of a breeze. Enjoy it while you can, as showers are creeping in next week. Greg is back with your extended weather forecast when Our News continues.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.
This holiday season, Our News and Easy Car Sales want to put you in a brand new electric ride.
Each week, tune into Our News at 7 and 7:30 for clues to questions about easy car sales, electric vehicles, and Generation E. Head over to our website, ournews.bs, for your chance to answer weekly trivia and enter to win.
It's simple. Answer correctly and you're automatically entered for your chance to win a brand new electric vehicle.
I love my EV. I am Generation E.
I am Generation E. I am Generation E.
And I am Generation E.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We've been enjoying some very nice weather over the last couple of days. A couple of fronts moving through the country over the whole week, actually. And nice reinforcing air mass coming in place. Temperatures managed to stay into the low to mid 80s with the nighttime temperatures dropping to the 70s. We're looking for that to continue as we have a very weak front that's going to be dropping into our area. But first, let's take a quick look at the tropics. We still have Sahara out there. Strengthened a little bit. Winds are now up to 50, a little over 52 miles per hour. And it's moving towards the west, very slow, 2 miles per hour. So it's going to be meandering across this area for the next couple of days, but it's eventually going to move into Belize by early part of next week, Sunday, Monday time frame. And once it moves across the Yucatan Peninsula, it should get into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico as a weakened system, but we expect a front that's going to be coming down and a dip in the jet stream to pick the system up by next week. And that front will actually bring this system, or what's left of it, back across the area for the middle to the ending part of next week with some showers and possibly even an isolated thunderstorms. But behind that front, we do expect some even cooler air mass to get into the northwest Bahamas during that time frame. Locally across the area, high pressure is in charge, dry air mass in place, a very weak front dropping across South Florida, not bringing much in terms of any weather. Most of the activity is well out there in the open Atlantic, but that will reinforce our air mass over the next couple of days, so we're looking for some very lovely conditions. Slightly breezy for the weekend, but it's a good time to get out and enjoy. Speaking about Sahara, this is what the scenario is setting up. High pressure across that area. Sahara will cross over the Yucatan Peninsula, dip in the jet stream, pick that system up, accelerates it towards Florida, and once again should be merging with the frontal boundary by the middle part of next week. Boating forecast. Caution flag for the inside of the islands, advisory for the Atlantic side, north to northeast winds at 50 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet near shore and locally, but up to 6 to 9 feet along Atlantic exposures in some northeast to easterly swells. Tide is presently high, will be low at 110 in the morning. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, a stretch of lovely weather is expected. Notice those temperatures taking a nice dip. That frontal boundary getting into our area. We should see some upper 70s across the extreme northern islands. Those nighttime temperatures be in the 70s. And once again, that merging of the front with Sahara next week should bring us some showers by Thursday of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night and have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. When we think of lifeguards, we often picture their efforts to save struggling swimmers from the water. But for one Atlanta's water safety specialist, his life-saving incidents kicked in off the clock and on the road. Our Marlena Leonard has his story.
Fane Thompson II has been working in water safety for about 6 years. But while he's trained in life-saving skills, it wasn't near the water that his latest life-saving effort took place.
I was on my way going to my class. I was running a bit late, and initially I drove past the gas station and then past this intersection. I noticed that there was a gentleman on the ground. I couldn't clearly see what happened. I was looking through my rear view and I didn't really see. It kind of kept going, to be honest with you. Just didn't feel right. I didn't know if the man was was getting up or whatever. So I decided to turn back around, and just as I did, I found him still laying there.
From there, he jumped into action.
I approached him. I gave him a shake. I tried to get his attention. I noticed that, yeah, at the time he was bleeding from his mouth. And then, of course, like he had, it was a little bit of his reaction to me wasn't steady. So immediately I called an ambulance, tried to get some stuff to clean him up, and I went right back to kind of monitor him. Kind of went into lifeguard mode, I guess.
And he says, although things were shaky at the start,
after the whole scene, everything had transpired, he was able to stand up, walk. He was able to speak with emergency medical services. They took over, and we just let the pros handle it.
While Thompson encourages people to learn some basic first aid skills,
even if you don't have the training, stop and help somebody, because you know that he could have been in a much worse situation there. I'm just glad that I was able to assist. There was also a couple other people that were there, a couple guys. They had stopped and helped, a couple police officers. So it wasn't only me.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, thanks so much for that, Marlena. And before we leave you tonight, remember your chance to start the new year in style. This Boxing Day, you could drive away in a brand new all-electric 2024 BYD SUV. Visit ournews.bs, click the Ride Easy with Our News banner, answer the question correctly, and you're entered to win. Good luck. Before you head on over to our website, we thank you for joining us for Our News tonight on behalf of the entire team. I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.